I'm lost. I'm very lost. I know I'm in Ashford because that is where I'm putting the sat nav, and that is where we're going to go thrifting today. Well, there's quite a lot of charity shops here, so hopefully we'll be able to find some good stuff. But I finally found the car park and I found the first charity shop, and it did have some good stuff inside. And the first thing was this fat face fleece. It was really nice. It was kind of like an in-between of a fleece and a sweatshirt, but it was, I think, like £15. I then come across this jacket which was £20, and it was very strange. The material of it was so weird. I've never felt a jacket made out of that material. The only material that I could compare it to is the material that the leather rags that you'd use to dry a car are made out of. But after that, I headed round to where all the t-shirts and that were, and the first one that I come across, which was interesting, was this white one that had like a grasshopper. Is that? I'm not too sure. I think so. And it had like this little speech bubble above it. It was a really strange t-shirt. The text on it was quite weird as well. If you want to pause it and read it, it's a bit strange. But it's from 2009, and I thought that was probably the most interesting part about it. The next item I come across was this Barcelona kit from the season 2015 to 16. It was a really nice kit, but the only thing was it just had so much wear on it. I then found this really sick t-shirt that they used to stock into Sooty with that really big graphic on the back. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name, but for £3.50 I knew I was going to pick this up. The last interesting t-shirt in here was this Nike t-shirt. It was kind of an older Nike piece, but it was still on a printed tag. But I headed out of there very happy with my purchase of that t-shirt and into this YMCA charity shop, which was in a like shopping centre. This is a first. I've never been in a charity shop in a shopping centre. But I started going through all the graphic t-shirts and all the polo shirts and everything like that, and there's some really cool designs, but nothing really stand out, nothing really worth talking about, apart from this Carlin t-shirt, which was kind of interesting because it was on a Carlin tag but didn't then have any Carlin branding or prints on the t-shirt. I thought it was a little bit weird, but apart from that, there was pretty much nothing else in this charity shop. So I headed out of there and headed down to this Pilgrim's Hospice charity shop, and the first thing I come across were these carpenter trousers, double knee style jeans, but they were just from ASOS. They had like green stitching on them, which I thought was quite sick. They would have been a lot better if they were black jeans with the green stitching, because blue and green doesn't really go that well together. But I then come across this weird like camera thing. Originally I thought it was like a little digital camera, and then I realized it was a flash for like a DSLR camera. But I started going through the jackets and all that, and I found this like bench zip up, which I thought was cool. It had a little print across the back, which I really liked. I then come across this No Fear t-shirt, which I really liked. If the graphic was all white instead of that weird like gradient multicolour thing, I probably would have picked it up, but I weren't really the greatest fan of the colours. Then come across this really weird, once again, I'm not even going to try and say it, t-shirt. I thought it was alright. It was only like £3. I've never seen that brand before. I think that's why I found it so interesting. I then found this rugby t-shirt, which I really liked the patches that it had going across the front of it. I thought they were pretty cool. But apart from that, nothing really too else in this charity shop. So I headed down to the PDSA charity shop, which was quite small, but they did have this baseball like mitten, which you don't see every day at a charity shop. I thought it was kind of interesting, and as well it gave me massive flashbacks to school PE. But I then had a look through their premium designer and retro rack, and probably the only interesting thing was this Toonstar Kiss graphic t-shirt thing. It was kind of interesting, but it weren't really nothing to shout about. But I then headed literally 2 doors down to this British Heart Foundation charity shop, and I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like every British Heart Foundation charity shop looks pretty much exactly the same. But I started going through all the jackets and the t-shirts and all of that, and even the shirts, and there was absolutely nothing in there. So I moved on to the jeans, and pretty much the 3rd or the 4th pair of jeans that I come across were these Henry Lloyd jeans. I really liked them. They were perfectly in my size, and as well they look like more of like a straight leg, almost like baggy fit, so I knew I was going to pick them up because as well they were literally $3.99. I literally couldn't turn them down. And then I had a massive throwback because I found these Mr. Men records. Oh, Mr. Men, what has happened to Mr. Men? I then found this Aqua CD. I'm not too sure who they are or when they are around, but I thought the graphic on the front cover was pretty sick. I then found this South Park CD, which I thought was quite interesting and funny. me, who knew they made a South Park CD? I didn't end up buying any CDs in the end. I couldn't find any I liked enough, so I headed out of there and headed down to our next charity shop, which I can't lie, I don't know what it is. It was a hospice of some sort, but after looking in there for about a solid 3 minutes, I came across absolutely nothing. So I ended up heading out of there and headed into our second YMCA charity shop of the day. And like the first one, this one was absolutely massive. They had so much stuff in here, and the first interesting thing that I come across was this t-shirt. It said espresso for my depresso. I thought this was just more funny than anything else. But next was this Ben Sherwood t-shirt, which had this pretty cool graphic of a little car on it. And then I come across another really cool rugby t-shirt with all these embroidered patches on it. I then come across this really sick bench t-shirt, which was kind of like buildings and speakers all kind of mashed together in some weird design. I thought it was interesting. But then once again, on the rail below, I found another interesting rugby shirt. But like all the others, I didn't end up picking it up. But I did end up heading out of that charity shop and heading quite a long way over to the other side of the town, over to this Bernardo's charity shop, which was massive. And they were even like had some like sick kind of sorting center out the back almost. It was interesting. I've never seen a charity shop like that before. But I started going through the men's section, and the first thing I come across was this Umbro polo shirt, which I quite liked. But after that, I then found this Timberland hoodie in this really nice grey with this little black graphic on the front. I thought this was really sick, and as well, it was literally £3. And as soon as I see that it was only £3, I knew this was going to have to come away with me. It's just too good to let go. I then found some Xbox games as well. They had the classics for charity shops, all the old FIFA games, but then they had this Hulk game for the original Xbox, which I thought was quite cool. You don't tend to see stuff like that every day. But I then moved over to the toys because I see these weird bags, and I was like, I've got to have a look to see what's inside of them. And they were just like loads of like Barbie dolls that had no clothes on. Thought it was a little bit strange, but to be fair, they probably would sell quite well on eBay. They were two quite big bags. I think each bag had about 5 dolls in it. But that is it for our trip to Ashford. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go check out one of these videos. You might also enjoy that, but I do hope to see you in another one of my videos.